Hello, everybody. Welcome to the IC Topic Chat today. What is today? It's November 17th. What are we doing next week? I know what we're doing. Where are you going to be next week, Naaima?
Portland.
Portland. Woohoo! We're going to be at the AEA conference. 2011 was my first AEA conference in Anaheim, and I met Ann Price, who's here with us today, and Susan Wolf, who's not here with us today, but she's here with us in spirit, of course. And it was an amazing experience for me because I felt like I found my people, and here I am, however many years later, still connecting with them. I'm super happy to be here with you guys for the IC Topic Chats. But today, Naaima is the incoming Independent Consulting Topical Interest Group Chair. So we call that, you guys probably all know this, ICTIG, the Independent Consulting Topical Interest Group, ICTIG, it's the acronym. And so we use that, but she's going to be the new chair with all the leadership responsibilities. I did it in 2015 and 2016. We had somebody drop out and I took over the role. And so I did it for most of 2 years, which was crazy. And then I got out of the way for other people to do it, but I'm always in awe of people who stand up and say, I can do that. And that's part of the conversation we want to have today about perhaps TIG leadership, but also just TIG involvement and other things you can do for the TIG. And also, if we get a chance, we're going to talk about AEA, the conference. So anyway, I told Naaima I'd be quiet, which is hard for me. So I'll be quiet now and I'll let her take it over. Go ahead, Naaima.
No problem. Thank you, Matt. Hello, everybody. Good morning here in the Twin Cities area. In St. Paul, it's still morning, so I'll roll with it. Welcome to this session. We are going to be chatting about how to get into ICTIG leadership, and then specifically how to get more engaged and involved, if you would like to, with the TIG community. I actually want to start off by thanking Matt for starting this ICTIG chat so many years ago, 5+ years ago right now, Matt. And it was actually, it's been a great space just to learn and connect with other folks. It's actually where I found my first business coach. So that was amazing to get a recommendation from here of a good person. And it's just been one of those spaces where the more that I've done research about it and its history, the more I've learned that we've just had several incredible folks be a part of this community. And I am really excited to share more about what that means. But before we dive into that, I am going to venture to use a hopefully not so new, maybe new technology to some of you. I'm going to drop a link in a chat. It's called Slido. Maybe this is just another tool that you can incorporate in your tool belt. But I'd love to just start with a little poll just to get a sense of how involved people have been with the TIG and what your involvement level has been. So if you can click on the link and participate, we already have some folks click on the draw here, as we would say in Texas. So please chime in and answer how long have you been involved with the ICTIG. We have 7 people responding so far. I'll wait for 1 more minute. We can see a good chunk of us have been involved for 2 to 3 years. I can't believe it. Actually, maybe in like the 5 to 10 year column, no, 3 to 5 year column, transitioning into 5 to 10 year column. That's exciting. Yeah, great. So we have a good mix of folks here in the room today. And I am excited to, of course, just kind of talk a little bit more about what inroads to more involvement can look like in the future. So let's move on to the next question. If I can go there. Here we go. What ICTIG events have you participated in? So love to get folks to weigh in here. Is it the same link? Is it a different link? I don't know. This is the first time I'm doing this, just to be transparent. Okay, there we go. So you maybe have to switch page, which is using your arrow key to go to the next page of the.
Naaima, one thing I noticed is you can only select one of those options. So you're going to see the one that most people that people are doing most frequently. I would select all of them.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, I mean, it's great to know that a good chunk of us have been participating in the online Zoom sessions. And my apologies, I didn't program that to be a multi-select. Um, So yeah, okay, this is good. I suspect we all benefit from the IC-TIG in multiple ways, as Matt mentioned, and that we can't show all of that right now. And then the last question I think is the most important for me, at least, which is how do you like to enjoy fall? And this is really just, my attempt at being a little more lighthearted, which doesn't work out sometimes. But yeah, Team Pumpkin, there you go. Got a great boost right there. Team Apple is in second, and then Team Candy Corn seems to be at a distant third. So, all right, great. Well, I appreciate you all indulging me in that quick poll, but just to kind of get a sense of who is here and how people benefit from the TIG, and then also just how folks enjoy fall. So I'm going to actually transition to the slide here. And I will begin by saying that as I go through the documents that have been created with, and of folks who have ran the TIG leadership before, I just, again, continue to be impressed at the different iterations of the work that has happened throughout the years. It was interesting to note that this group actually started, the Independent Consulting TIG, I believe I read, started in 1984. About the time of my lifespan. So that's exciting. And, as folks have come in and out of the group, there have been a variety of different focus areas of people who have been involved in leadership. So that involves, everything from curating a calendar of events to, updating membership directory. Maybe those are, kind of some bare minimum things. But then we also have had more of a focus on, especially with the pandemic and the shift to more people adopting online and virtual work, we had a lot more online sessions launch. So we'll go into that a little bit more. So I'm pretty sure most folks are familiar with the IC-TIG through the virtual involvement, but there are other ways to be involved. So go through a brief introduction as well as the purpose of the group. We'll talk a little bit through the TIG initiatives, and then we'll preview the upcoming elections and nominations process that we have going on right now. And we'll talk, of course, about the Portland conference coming up and some of the events and sessions that the IC-TIG has over there. And then we'll, of course, end with a discussion. So as I was going through the kind of charter documents here, I was digging through the IC-TIG files, and I just adapt. This is like a paraphrased, very Naaima-esque version of these purposes. Okay, so don't hold me to, this is not like the official charter language, but the purpose of this group really is to foster community among independent consultants to share experiences, resources, knowledge, wisdom, right? We all support one another in this community. One thing that I found ever since I've been involved is just the overwhelming nature of the support that I felt from other independent consultants. And I'm really proud of that. And I think that's something that we can work on institutionalizing further as we move along in the iteration of this TIG. And then, of course, to promote independent consulting as a profession by supporting those who are considering it. Matt does a great job and does workshops, I believe, every year that I've been attending AEA. Matt, I've seen you and Laura's workshop as an offering on how to start an independent consultancy and, kind of some tips and steps to do that. So that is one way, of course. And then, as we know, we have several colleagues within this group who openly and generously share many tips as well as mentorship opportunities to folks who are thinking of getting started, as well as those who are early career and, really for everyone at every level. Another purpose is to increase. So the the principal document reads professionalism, but I say perhaps effectiveness. Maybe that's something I can take on as a chair, as perhaps a revitalization or a updated wording of the original document. But increase the effectiveness of ICs by providing skill building. So TIG initiatives, and I'm only going to be talking about initiatives specifically from the board right now. So this includes Healing Space with our current chair, Dr. Tasha, who launched that initiative, gosh, a year and a half, or it has to be more than a year now ago. I recently launched the Business as Unusual sessions, where we talk about how equity is incorporated into our work as independent consultants. We of course have the masterminds group, which fifth round, really impressive for how these, these are completely autonomously run groups. And just, I've heard a lot about great experiences that folks have had in their masterminds. We also curate a series of blog posts from ICTIG members, and particularly around AEA 365 week of ICTIG members posts. And so I know Dr. Tasha led a bunch of coordination around that this year. And then we also have monthly newsletter contributions, which thanks to our outgoing newsletter chair, Kayla Myers, big shout out to Kayla. And I want to also recognize that Lily is on this call. So Lily, please feel free to jump in on any of this. But also, yes, these are some of the big items that we focus on as a leadership team. And this is not including all of the other, less formal or more formal things that we have going on, such as the TIG chat space that Matt graciously hosts here, as well as Ann Price's office hours. And I've heard that there's a marketing group. I feel like the more that I learn, take time to spend researching about the independent consulting TIG, the more I learn of different initiatives. So I know that there are several ways that folks connect outside of these more leadership focused initiatives as well. So just a quick note on 2025 elections and nominations process. We are super excited. We have several open positions for the ICTIG leadership board. And this is not the point at which you would look away from your camera if you have it on. I want you all to really lean in and engage, because trust me when I say I never thought I would be, engaged at this level, and it has been fabulous. And I would expect nothing, hopefully nothing less for anybody else that chooses to get involved further.
Naaima, what made it
Yes.
fabulous for you? Because I think your personal story, and I can share mine too, but your personal story is what will help people understand why this level of commitment is actually very valuable. What was valuable to you? Why was it great for you?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Honestly, it started in this space, Matt. I learned a lot from folks that, have joined the ICTIG chats, and just have shared, again, generously been willing to share their wisdom and knowledge. And then I was inspired to see, Mindalyn and other former TIG leaders, learning about Tamara Hamai and her work. And just, again, like I said, so many incredible leaders in the past have been involved in this work, and just learning about their businesses, their journeys as individuals has been really inspiring. And that to me really helped, open up perhaps the possibility of being involved in TIG leadership. But then what really pushed it over for me was personal outreach by Dr. Tasha, who's not here today, but she was pretty adamant and kind of, let's just say, roping me in, right, to helping out with leadership responsibilities. And so that for me was kind of my path. That it certainly wasn't a linear path. I considered it for a while, but then I was like, oh, I don't think I'm really cut out for that, or maybe I won't have enough time. But once you're kind of in the mode of that level of connection with your other IC fellows and fellowship and in community, I feel like you kind of make the time and space, and it becomes a method of just honing your own skills, sharpening your own practice, and again, being getting into that position where you're able to share, right, and help people benefit just like you benefited in the past from other people. Perhaps. So that's a little bit about my story. I don't know if that moved anybody, but
Well,
so
I share this. I'm very proud of the fact that we built into our expectations for all the folks on our staff, who are all my teammates, that if you want to progress, if you want to grow and develop within our practice, our firm, we expect you to take on increasingly more leadership responsibilities within the American Evaluation Association or some other association that's mostly aligned with your work, which for the most of us it's AEA. And the reason for that is, and I've had this experience, is that you learn more about what you're trying to do in your job, and you get better at your job by connecting with other people through, well, the IC topic chats, we know that, but by being on a board for the independent consulting TIG or any of the other TIGs, if the independent consulting TIG isn't your thing, because you're connecting with those people, and those people are relying on you to get something done, but that forces you to be in meetings with them. And then what happens is you talk about those other things that you should be talking about as well, like, hey, I'm doing this one project and I'm really stressed out about it, and it's with this one institution and they're crazy, and oh, you should know about this and you should know about that. Next thing you know, you're integrated into a whole nother thing, and that happens organically and unexpectedly with your work, in addition to trying to do this thing committed to your association. And so it's been my experience, the harder you plug in and work with in giving to others, the more you receive unexpectedly. That's why I do these IC topic chats. But anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. I agree with that. And I think that what's great about this group is that it is, of course, as independent consultants, we take a lot of self, self-started initiative. And I think really what you want to put into it is what you get out of it, as Matt was saying. And you can shape it to be anything you really want or need it to be, and any gaps that you see. Um, I think it's a great opportunity to really kind of step in and say, well, I can provide some support and take on some leadership around, you know, um, taking this work to the next level. So the positions that we have open include chair-elect, which facilitates TIG leadership as part of the chair sandwich. So right now, the chair sandwich includes myself, Mindalyn as the former chair, myself as the incoming chair, and then Dr. Tasha as the current chair. And then we have the program co-chair position, which works with the other program chair to select evaluation 2025 conference programs and sessions. I argue that program co-chairs do a little bit more than just that, but that is certainly a big focus. Newsletter / web media editor. So this is really what's referred to as kind of the social and written media, I think, position in the original charter document. So it's not, I guess, not helpful to think about it as only limited to the newsletter, but essentially coordinates, edits, and finalizes the content, which includes the monthly newsletter that goes out for this group. And this is a really important position because this is how we share information and how we understand what's going on within the TIG community, as well as a social media chair who helps update and publicize our events and our content on the socials. So, and each of these folks, we're deeply going to miss. Of course, Dr. Tasha will stay on as the outgoing chair, but then, program co-chair Nathan has been involved with the TIG for a very long time. We are also, in their current positions, we'll miss them, I guess we'll say. And then, Kayla, as well as Allie, just want to note that, give them a shout out and note that they've done some great work in those positions. So I also would like to highlight that we are in the nomination process. We're looking for people to join the independent consulting leadership team in 2025. And again, it's a great opportunity to get to know other consultants and to support the community. I just walked through the position quick descriptions, but if you want the longer descriptions, you can go to the nomination form, which I can drop the link in the chat in a minute. You can also scan this QR code if you're looking at this on your computer and have your phone available. It'll take you straight to the doc. And Matt, can you tell us the story behind this little creature here? Is it okay, what is it and where did it come
It's
from?
a guinea pig.
Okay.
And so when I was go way back, I was like a communications chair back in 2012. And this Amy Germuth person, didn't know who she was, who was some sort of former leader, I guess, wanted to do a survey of the independent consulting TIG. And I said, who's Amy Germuth? Well, she was a former TIG chair, and I didn't know it because I was young and ignorant at the time. Anyway, so she did this wonderful survey, and it was very qualitative. It was very open-ended. And she took it and she came to the 2013 meeting in Washington, D.C., and she presented on her topic. And it was one of the better presentations I can remember. And everybody should, I still have the PowerPoint. And I have the data too, but the PowerPoint. And she gets to the end and she's talking just wonderfully about all these visuals and all these wonderful pictures, and just an example of the way we should all give PowerPoint presentations. She gets to the end and she says, you know, I think independent consultants are just like guinea pigs wearing armor. And there's this kind of, at the time at least, famous guinea pig in armor photo that was out there. And she used that as her graphic. And she talked about how we are soft on the inside, but we've got to put out an armor. And I forget all the symbolism, but anyway, it became our picture, that actual logo, and found it. And we used it for our Facebook site for a while and everything. But anyway, the fast forward a couple years, I'm TIG chair, and we did a, a we were in Atlanta, and we had a TIG meal, and we collected money to try and cover all the costs. And we had like a couple $100 left. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this 200 bucks? And they said, well, go get a logo, get a tablecloth, and do these things. So I just went out and did that. So I got a logo, and I was only looking, and you started with the original logo, which has like the IC kind of off in the corner. And I said, well, just for fun, could you make up a guinea pig in armor? And so that's where this came from. So I call it the TIG pig. And I call him Icky, Icky, but that's never been officially that's never been an official nickname, but I like it. I call him Icky the TIG pig. And
Did we
anyways,
maybe you
that story is
some,
way too long. I don't know how to tell it any
is it just
shorter
me?
though. What's that?
Okay. Lily, I see you.
Not just you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I always have those.
Did I freeze? I must have froze.
To, engage people in the process who want to get more involved. So let me see.
Sorry about that.
All right.
I was talking about, could you hear me?
The moment we have been waiting for. As well as perhaps, I think Matt is back. So here are just the session titles. This is Wednesday through Friday. So I believe the first session listed is Wednesday, and then maybe the second on Thursday, and the last two on Friday. This is the second piece of that slide. And you'll see the birds of a feather sessions listed at the bottom. The collaboration over competition. Where do we even begin when introducing evaluation consulting and building a better evaluation firm? So these are all exciting opportunities to, of course, engage further with your ICTIG colleagues and learn more just about the craft and the excitement of being a consultant. And then in terms of the activities, I would encourage everybody to take out their phones and scan this QR code and commit to coming. If you are in Portland next week, we would be so excited for you to join us at the ICTIG Happy Hour Social, which we are hosting at Kex Portland in their library. It's a really cool space. I'd just go to check it out. But of course, we're going to be hanging out there and having really heavy hors d'oeuvres, really great hors d'oeuvres, in my opinion. And of course, drinks and beverages. So I'm excited about that. As well as ICTIG annual meeting. So that's on Thursday, October 24th from 12:40 to 1:25. And of course, we'll be popping around, I don't know, at the TIG fair and reception on Thursday from 6 to 7:30. Lily, am I missing anything from any of this? And this presidential
I don't think so. Do you want to remind, isn't the meeting, I know I can't make it, but don't we have our business meeting tonight, the virtual one as well?
Yes, correct. Thank you for that reminder. We have our ICTIG virtual business meeting where you'll see some of this information along with some new information this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern. Is that what it is? Or 7 p.m. Eastern? Morley, can you remind me? And so
No, it's when I have a committee meeting. I will try to find the information and drop it in the chat in a moment.
Okay, thank you. Actually, let me just look at it real quick so I can tell folks. Yeah, so it's 6 Central and 7 Eastern. It's going to be the ICTIG meeting, and Lily will drop the information in the chat for those who want to join. So I will end here and we can begin the discussion portion of our session. Matt?
Okay, and I think I'm back until I'm not. I don't know what happened. Isn't it funny? When I'm in the office, it actually goes out, and sometimes it's great in hospital lobbies or not. The TIG pig is what I call that. Call him Icky. He was a logo that was designed back in 2015 based upon a presentation that Amy Germuth gave in 2013. And she referred to independent consultants as like guinea pigs in armor. And so that presentation, I still have it if anybody ever wants to see it. But that's where that came from. So I call him Icky the TIG pig. And there's a logo that just got made up when we were making up the other logo back in 2015.
That's great, Matt. Thank you for reiterating that history. We had
I don't know I have no idea what you heard.
It's good. It's always helpful to hear the symbolism and kind of the leadership behind that.
Okay, cool. Hey, well, with that, hey, everybody who's here, stick around, but all those out in YouTube land, we'll see you later. Well, and hopefully we'll see you next week at the conference.
Okay.